Given that certain people are what the government deems to call protected, we have to be quite careful about what we say. And it's always very reassuring to know that organisations like BBC Verify are there to tell us that everything is okay, really. Aren't you glad about that? I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. This is the Dhakar Tribune, and I want to remind you Dhakar is in Pakistan, and so this is a local paper in Pakistan, and it says BBC Verify uncovers misinformation about Hindu persecution in Bangladesh. Indian accounts spread false claims of atrocities against Hindus, and social media rumours are being used to fuel communal tensions in Bangladesh. And here we have a group of Hindus obviously caught by misinformation who are demonstrating against atrocities, various assaults of various sorts against various Hindus. And, as if to confirm this, I don't suppose it would be a bad thing to show you a sermon given at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. This imam here is talking about the current unrest in Pakistan and Bangladesh with regard to the Hindu minority. Just a minute, I'm going to make this a bit smaller so you can get all of the subtitles. So this clip, Palestinian Islamic scholar Nidhal Siam at the Al-Aqsa rally, the only response to the cow-worshipping Hindus, their affront to the Prophet Muhammad, is to declare jihad to eradicate them. I hope you can read the subtitles. I'm somewhat reluctant to read them out. But he is calling on the Hindus and making reference to their state of cleanliness. And of course, Muhammad is the master of all people, so there's nothing wrong with saying that, is there? And he's calling on all Muslims and drawing attention to the affronts and hostilities that the infidels are showing to the Messenger of Allah. And then he refers to the affronts by the Hindus who, he says, worship cows. I would like to point out to you that the Hindus do not worship cows. Just for the record, there he is suffering from a slight amount of misinformation himself. But then, hey, everyone's entitled to a little bit of misinformation, unless you live in the United Kingdom, of course, in which case misinformation is a mortal sin. But he's in Jerusalem, so he's all right. And he regards the Hindus as having declared war against Islam and Muslims. I'm going to cut out a lot of that because it's going to take a lot of time. But he is listing all the people who have waged war against Islam, giving a whole list. It's obvious that Islam is one of the most persecuted religions in the world. Everybody seems to be against them. And that's something that, sort of catches me here, I have to say. And he says the Hindu cow worshippers have destroyed mosques, have done away with Muslims, have destroyed villages, and apparently they've slandered the master of mankind. I'm assuming that that is their prophet, I mean the Muslim prophet. And then he says the only reaction to such a thing is to declare jihad for the sake of Allah. Well, we have to agree with him, don't we? I mean, if a whole religion declares war on Islam, then Islam has to defend itself. And he says to open up battlefronts so that the army, I'm assuming he means the Pakistani army, can have its say and discipline the infidels and polytheists by eradicating them. Well, that's certainly going to discipline them, isn't it? So, from the Al-Aqsa Mosque, we are addressing the armies of the Muslims. And, you know, all over Egypt, the Hijaz, Turkey, Jordan, and etc. Is it not high time that you support your religion and prophet? And who can argue with that? And this he addresses to the people of Pakistan, that it's on them to fight the Hindus. Because they're right there on the Pakistan border, of course. And the Hindus are occupying parts of Muslim land and killing Muslims. Do you know, that's awfully familiar. It sounds, I'm sure I've heard that about other people, not Hindus, just others, but it's sort of slipping my memory, you know, on account of me being so terribly old. I do forget things occasionally, and I can't quite put my finger on it, what this man might have been talking about with regard to, well, other ethnic groups. So let's just carry on here. Do you know, the Muslims are really in a fix, aren't they? You know, their lands are occupied and their people are being killed. You know, it's how many, just a minute, I'm just going to look this up. How many Muslims in the world? Approximately 1.9 billion Muslims, nearly 2 billion Muslims. And considering how their lands are occupied by terrible people all over the place and how they're being genocided, I am absolutely astonished that they managed to produce so much population. Perhaps somebody can answer that one for me. You see, you have a great army, again talking to Pakistan, that is capable of disciplining the Hindus. And by disciplining, as he said before, he meant eradicating. Because they are listening to Satan, of course, the Hindus. Oh, that's it. Right. Well, there we have it. The Muslims seem to be just about the most persecuted people in the world. No wonder our UK government have made them a protected group. And here the Hindus are saying that the Muslims are persecuting them. So the fact is that in the 3 days of chaos and anarchy that descended on Bangladesh on August the 5th, after Sheikh Hasina resigned as the Prime Minister, that meant that mobs of, the religion of peace descended on the Hindu minority. Obviously, this is something of a bit of a mistake. Probably the attacks were bigged up by the Hindus with an agenda, and definitely there were only a few ends of life and personal bodily invasions going on. So we shouldn't worry about that, should we? Okay, well, there you are. There you have it. Till next time. You can help my channel by clicking like, by subscribing, by clicking the notification bell, and by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels are in the description, also links to donation sites, but really the best way you can help me is simply by clicking like. Thank you.